we're gonna get to. I don't know if I want to do the life after or the life during. I think I'm gonna do life during. So here's another page that I wrote. This one says life during. Alright. So I had the life before, which is our negative life. This is life during. This is how to change your life. So it says how to change your life day by day, one step at a time. And that's how I want you to look at this change. I know I said take a step back and look at the big picture. But if you really want to change, no matter what it is, if you want to change your weight, your lifestyle, your mindset, getting more physical activity in, reading more, if you want to cut your social media off, you can't just expect to do all of these things at once. You can't go cold turkey on it. You can't. I know some people say you can, but you can't. All that does is create relapses, and you're just going to fall deeper into where you are. So take things one step at a time and day by day. I know people are impatient. People don't want to look at where they're going to be in 6 months if they put in the work. They want to know where they're going to be now if they try to fit in, if they try to squeeze in all the work. But that's not how it works. Things take time. The way I see it, the way I perceive it, is like I'm going to put all this work in now in these next few months or this whole year, and I'm going to be set for the rest of my life. Right? That's how I see it. That's how people should see it. When it comes to something like, for example, weight loss, people, they're so focused on, I want to be this number, I want to be this weight. Well, they're not focusing on what they have to do to obtain that. They're just focusing on the number, or they focus on, get skinny quick diets or things like that. Things don't happen overnight. They don't. You have to keep working, and you have to keep trying. You have to be productive. You have to be disciplined. And you have to be motivated. You have to want to change. And if you take it one step at a time, it's very obtainable. All right. If you look at it and you say, in 6 months, in a year, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm gonna be a billionaire. I'm gonna be so happy. I'm gonna be this and I'm gonna be that. Yeah, it's good to think that way, but how are you gonna obtain it? Right? So write it down. Write it down as detailed as you can. All of this stuff is all stuff that you have to learn, and hopefully I'll be able to teach you. This is stuff that I've learned just from research on my own. A lot of YouTube. I have this page and it says resources on it. A lot of YouTube, a lot of just links on DuckDuckGo, just because you can't really trust Google. Google filters its search results. These are just things that you have to learn. I mean, I learned them for a long time. Once you change your way of thinking, anything's possible. So the first thing on here, I wrote in here in parentheses, these are all of significant importance. Numbering doesn't really matter. So I'm going to say the numbers, but they don't matter. They're all equally important. Number 1 is having an open mind. Not everything is as it seems. I could get really into this, but I'm going to save it for a different video. Just take it like this. Everything that we've been taught from our parents, from our grandparents, from teachers in school, professors in university, stuff we see on the news, stuff we read about in articles, stuff we see on social media, right? News articles, official, whatever, any of this shit. You can't take it as the truth. I can tell you what the truth is. The truth is nobody knows. Scientists and philosophers and these people, yeah, they're smart. Yeah, they know more than we do. But how do we know what they're saying is the truth? We don't. We don't know. And so, are you going to be the type of person to believe what is, you know, what people are telling you? Or are you going to be the type of person to think your own thoughts and your own thought patterns and to say, yeah, this person is telling me this, but I'm going to go ahead and do my own research and see what it is I can find. You know what I mean? And that's number 2, is being resourceful. Look for your own information and don't take the word of others. Be resourceful. Look up the information for your own. Doesn't take long. That's something that I don't really like, is like when I had social media and I would go on a controversial post, there's people in the comments that, you know, are critical thinkers who can think for themselves, who pull pieces of information and, you know, combine it with whatever the story says so that they can have a broader picture, right? Those are people that I want to be around. The people that I don't want to be around are the people who read the official story and say, fuck it. They know what they're saying. They know what they're doing. I'm going to follow them. You can't think like that. That's people thinking for you. You're not even thinking at that point. So, whatever it is in this life, somebody tells you something, somebody says, this is the way this is, question them. Say, why? Why? It doesn't hurt to ask questions. Something about me is I ask questions about everything. Everything. I want to know people's true intentions. My true intention is I want people to live happy, peacefully, and loving. Number 3, make peace with your demons and yourself. You must work through traumas to let the light in. We all have inner battles. I don't know what you've been through, and you don't know what I've been through. I'm not saying I've been through worse than you. There's people out there who have had tremendous faults, tremendous, bad experiences, just things that happened to them, and, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. People go through things in life, and the easiest thing to do is to just, put a bottle on those emotions and just shove them down. Just don't even think about it. Don't even talk about it. Nothing, right? What happens eventually? Day to day, things are fine, but one day you're going to have a bad day, and you're going to feel those emotions start to come up. You're going to feel them coming up, you're going to feel them coming up, you're going to feel them coming up. You're going to start to get choked up, and then you're going to explode. Happened to me. I'm sure it happened to everyone before. We bottle up these emotions, we get into a bad predicament, and we explode on people who don't deserve it at all. Right? So, how can we make peace with that? Just by talking about it, and by forgiving ourselves, right? Something about every human being is, they say we're all born with guardian angels. People who love us unconditionally, regardless of our faults. When you're feeling down and, if you're feeling down about circumstances in your life or in your past life, or if you're feeling down about things that you did to other people or even to yourself, think about how lucky we are to have someone, something, some entity love us unconditionally. Unconditionally. Regardless of what we do. Unconditional love. That's powerful. And even if you don't have anyone to talk to, even if you feel like nobody understands you, even if you feel like you're not connected to anyone, you can talk to your guardian angels, or you can talk to God. You can ask them for help. You can ask them for guidance. And they'll help you. They're not going to physically speak to you, but they're going to give you signs, and they're going to show you the path. They're going to carve it out for you, little by little. And if you keep asking, and if you keep, disciplining every day, soon, a lot of us, we're right here. We're at a fork in the road. Let's say there's 5 roads that we can take. That's how it feels sometimes, It feels like we can go this way, we can go this way, we can go this way, we can do this, we can do this. But where am I supposed to go? What's my true life's purpose, right? How do you get rid of these roads so that we can know what we have to do? I'd say 2 of these roads are ego related. One of these roads is, just not even there. We look within, we find clarity, we listen to our intuition. It's going to give us this road. The road we need, the road we were born to follow. And you can find that by just doing things that you enjoy doing in your daily life. How often do you take time out of your life to do something that you enjoy doing? And I'm not talking about Netflix or TikTok. Something that you actually enjoy doing. Whether that be creating music, creating art, going to the gym, going to watch a movie, whatever it is that when you do it, you feel the happiest, whatever that is. So make the peace with yourself so that you can allow light in. Because you can do all of this work, but you could still be holding on to things. And your blessings, they're going to wait for you. They're knocking on the door. Hello, we're trying to come in, but you need to let go of this unreleased trauma. Fix your trauma. Change your daily habits. More powerful, productive, healthy habits. I'm going to get into that right now. Change your thinking patterns. Positive, positive, positive. Positive, 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 positive. I wish I would have wrote it 20 times on there. Ask divine for help. God, guardian angels, the universe, archangels. Ask them for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be hard-headed. Don't be stubborn. That's not allowing, that's ego. That's your ego. Saying you don't need help. You got this. You're the man. I need help. I'm not afraid to ask. Learn about the laws of the universe. Just recently, I learned about this. Not even a week ago. I had no idea what the laws of the universe were. Nobody teaches this. These are laws that the universe follows. Look them up. I still have to learn about them. Stop listening to other people, taking their advice, or following their path. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be your parents, your grandparents, your coach, your mentor, your school counselor. They can give you advice. They could show you the path. But if it's not the right one for you, and you'll know, don't follow it. People love to give advice. I love to give advice. But if I'm not practicing what I preach, the advice is invalid. You know what I mean? Instead, follow your intuition. That's what I put in there. Your intuition comes from within. When you meditate, when you find clarity, when you find peace, when you let go, when you have less resistance, that's when your intuition is at its highest. Realize we are spiritual beings living in a physical reality. There is no gap between source energy and you. Spiritual beings living in a physical reality. The physical reality that we probably asked to be here for. Right? This one's a little crazy. Because this all goes back to don't believe what we're taught. What is it that we're taught in school? right? Theory of evolution, we're born out of nothing and we evolved from pond, what is it? Like little pond toads, right? We were little bacteria in the water. We grew. We got out of the water. We grew legs, right? We grew into opossum-looking things. Then we started to grow into monkeys, and now here we are, right? Theory of evolution, or you believe in God, right? The religious God, the God that says, I'm the creator, and I can, when you die, I'm gonna look at your life like a chart, and if you did more bad than good, you're going to hell. If you did good, you're going to heaven. Or you have other beliefs, right? But those are like the two main ones, at least here in America. So, nobody teaches you, I believe the Buddhism religion does, but nobody teaches you about reincarnation. The fact that people, right, human beings, are put on this earth to have the realization that none of this matters. Material things don't matter. Wealth and fame don't matter. You wanna know why it doesn't matter? Because you can't take it with you. You can't take any of it with you. But what can you take with you? The person that you are. If you're a kind and loving person, you're gonna be accepted pretty much anywhere, right? And if you're not, if you're the opposite of that, if you're negative and you're down, people aren't gonna want to be around you. So that's what people were put on this earth for, is to love each other and to realize that we're all one. But the powers that be in the government, things like that, they try to separate us, and they do it pretty easily too, right? Like Democrat, Republican, Coke and Pepsi, football teams, basketball teams, baseball teams, fucking fast food joints. Who has a better chicken sandwich? Just, they're always looking to divide people, because when you divide people, it's easier to control them. It's easier to say, okay, well, over here, here's how we're gonna do things, and over here, here's how we're gonna do things. But what if that was flipped? What if it was just, hey, we're all gonna do things this way? Well, then the people in power lose their power, right? And this I'll do a whole video on, just on like my beliefs about the government and conspiracy theories that I've learned about, shit that's true. But I really want to focus on just this. So, realize we're spiritual beings living in a physical reality. There's no gap between source and you. So, you can just take that and chew on it. Just because that one's a little more on the crazier side. But it's the truth. You know, when we die, it doesn't end. If we were so caught up in wealth and material things and lust, they're gonna erase our memory and they're gonna send us back in. You know, just until we break the cycle, until we realize, hey, I'm one with everything, I love everything, I am everything, everything that I need, I already have, everything that I want, I already have, and I'm one. Once you develop that state of mind, you reach nirvana. This is what Buddhists and monks and, people who meditate regularly for hours on end. This is, where they go to, and everything is peace, everything is bliss. You can't, wanting is suffering. You can't want things. You just have to accept things for what they are. You have to follow the path of least resistance. The last thing I wrote on here is step back and look at the big picture. Right? Step back and look at the big picture. And right here, I wrote, love always wins. Love always wins. Love is such a strong emotion, such a strong frequency. It vibrates so strongly that the forces of evil, the forces of down, the forces of negative thoughts, they're never, ever gonna trump love. Love always gonna win. And so just think about that, whenever you're upset at somebody for what they did yesterday, for what they did a year ago, for what they did 10 years ago. If you think about a person and you feel a certain way about a person emotionally, whether that be a negative, take that and just flip it and say, wow, I really love that person for showing them things about myself. Think about it that way. Think about how bitter you're being. Think about how angry you're being. This is a quote. I don't know who the quote is from, where it's from, or even if it's accurate. But I read somewhere that if you want to change the world, you have to change yourself, right? And so when we start to think more consciously, more aware, we realize, how angry we can be, how deceitful we can be, how we're liars, things like that. Trash man, just come in and pick up the trash. All right. So, yeah, take a step back, look at the big picture, and everything will be okay. So this is how to change, right? This is life during. This is not everything that you can do. There's a lot more that you can do. There's a lot more that I have to talk about. But this video is already 48 minutes long.